So, hello, Yusef. Welcome to our podcast. It is a huge honor to have you on our Northwood podcast. And we would love to hear about your story. How did you end up here? I understand you contacted me and you contacted the synagogue 2 years ago in order to do conversion. You're in the process already of conversion. But your story is fascinating. You were a Christian pastor for many years, but before that, you grew up as a Muslim. So, wow, here are we today. We would love to hear about your history and how did you end up in our community, please.
Oh, thank you for having me on your broadcast, Rabbi Zerbib. And I'm always glad to be with you as a
Thank you.
person, as a family as well inside this beautiful synagogue in Northwood. Actually, as you said, I'm from Egypt. I came from a middle-class family where my parents both came from good families, rich families, but they got divorced in mid-60s. My father was officer in the army. Actually, all his family are officers in the army, except of women. So I came from this background where I lived many wars against Israel. In 1980, I took a decision to become Christian as I wasn't really convinced with Islam. Why Christianity? Because it is the only option in Egypt. Okay, there's no other option. We in Egypt in that time, we didn't even hear about many, for people who are from my age, we didn't hear much about the Jewish background, more than few people who used to be Jew, like Laila Murad or whatever, in Egypt. So I decided to be Christian, to learn the Bible, and took me a long time to grow in this new faith. It wasn't easy because I was always under suspicious from other people, and security issues wasn't really very helpful.
Sorry to bring you back a second. The moment, what was that moment that you felt that the Muslim belief wasn't your belief? What kind of? Do you have some questions? What is theological? Is it feeling? What happened there that made you say, okay, I don't want to continue to be a Muslim?
I didn't actually came from a very religious families. But when I was a teenager, I start to be more a kind of Muslim committed person. I start to read more. I start to go with my friends who are stronger Muslim, and I find that they are, confused with many things, and I didn't feel this is what I want, especially when you hear many things like, the life of the Islamic prophets, all what they did in Egypt. I mean, many things. I don't want to go into this detail. This is not my interest. But I didn't really feel convinced that Islam is very good. Especially, I saw many of my Christian friends who are very loving and caring for me after the divorce of my mother. So I was more connected to my Christian friends. Maybe you can say psychological and rational or knowledge issues make me feel that Islam is not my path.
Understand.
So I decided to be Christian. It took me a long time to be Christian, actually. And in 1990, I was imprisoned for about 11 months in a single cell. It was a very hard time after I got a lot of tortures and,
Why is that? Why were you tortured?
because they thought I am converting Muslims and like this. I'm a person who loves to talk about his faith.
Oh.
Okay, so even if I will be a Jew, I will speak about Jewish faith. So it's me. So
Is it against the law to convert Muslims to Christianity in Egypt in those days? Was it again?
yes, yeah. So anyway, I wasn't really involved much in conversion, but I was in connection with many people who convert people. So maybe because I was the rich person among my colleagues, and I was take care of them because they lose families, they lose jobs, they lose houses. So I was helping them. Security consider me that I am the head of the snake and something like this. So they put
Make
me
an
in prison.
example of you to the
Yes,
rest.
exactly. So and I got released after too much pressure from human rights organizations, from George Bush, the senior, who was involved in my case. It was a big human rights case in that time. And then I went out of prison. I got married, and I was more involved with my friends. But I feel that there's always something missing in my life. When I came to England, I came because Mubarak he asked us to leave and never come back. So it's like you can say I'm exiled from Egypt.
What year was that? Sorry.
In 1998.
Uh-huh.
And because of this political situation, I got indefinite to leave here in UK quickly, and we start our life. Very interestingly, I lived in Murray Road. Okay.
In 1998.
In 1999.
Ah,
Yeah.
you lived over here
So
on this road. Wow.
yes, yeah, and it was very interesting to go, walk in the streets on Saturday, and I see people, going. And security. I used to speak to someone. He was elderly man, very decent, and looks very chic.
Yeah.
So, and he said to me one day, "You are Egyptians, right?" He said, "Yes, I am. How do you know?" He said, "I know you from your accent." I said,
Wow.
"Interesting." So
Wow.
I told him, "Can I join your service here?" He said, "You need to talk to the rabbi," but I don't know what's happened. I didn't meet this glass door, and no one were answering me. That was before they put the metal gate.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes. Were you connected to the theological college around the corner?
I studied some stuff like New Testament Greek, and I go to teach there. I used to go to teach there something like this, and Islamic courses and different stuff, and discipleship program. But I did my master's in theology with a seminary in Egypt. It was online, and this was a bigger issue. I didn't mention that my grandfather, he was connected to many Jews in my home city in Port Said because of his background. He speaks many languages, and I used to see many Jewish friends when I was very little. Okay, but suddenly all disappeared. Okay, I didn't know why, but later the war started, and it was difficult to find them anyway. Yeah. So they were my family's friend, not my friends.
Yeah.
So in 2007, I went to Israel for the first time to teach. Okay, there, and it was interesting because a place we love. Okay, and I saw many Israelis speak Arabic, and they were very welcoming, very nice to me. It was good to talk to many of them, and as well when I went to visit Yad Vashem
What year
cemetery,
was that?
that was in 2007.
Was that your first time going to Israel?
Yeah.
What made you go to Israel? What was the
to teach in a conference.
Conference of pastors.
No, Christian, Palestinian Christians.
Interesting.
So I was a main speaker. So I went to the Holocaust Museum, and it wasn't my first time to go to any Holocaust. I went to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. maybe 3-4 times. So it's on my way out, I went to the souvenir shop and to buy something, and especially a CD or DVD talk about the Holocaust, where my son were studying here in England about Holocaust. So I said I would bring something for him according to his request. And I found a very interesting DVD called Follow Me, The 6 Days War. Okay. Actually, maybe I have it somewhere. Okay, anyway. It was a documentary DVD. I took it. And when I came back to my house here in England, I decided to watch it. It was a documentary about the war between the Arab countries and Israel in 1967.
Yes.
So it's a 4 parts: war against Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and restoring the eastern side of Jerusalem. Actually, what's happened that the person who was commentating on the part of the war between Egypt and Israel was someone called General Gavish, I think Gavish, something like this.
Okay.
He was a commander of the front, area of between Egypt and Israel, front line.
The French, okay, yes.
Yeah. So he's a general, but okay, this DVD, because it happened in 1967, he was talking. In 1969, my brother, who was in the Egyptian commandos, he killed him he ambushed for him and he killed him.
How do you know that he was the one that pulled the trigger?
Because that's what we know.
Wow.
My brother, he got a medal for it from Gamal Abdel Nasser.
Wow.
So actually, we were proud because of this big issue, very big issue. And when I went to home and I watched this DVD as a Christian who doesn't hate Israel anymore, okay, I felt that, God, hit me in my heart about the time I was proud of killing the man. Okay, so I started to repent about being proud of killing the man.
You felt guilty that you were happy for this, or guilty that your family did so?
No, it's because being happy to do this. I mean, the man is he can die, he can kill people, I mean, it is his job, he can die. But to be happy, especially about killing someone, is not good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So this was the feeling I got. I started to repent to God about this, and ask for forgiveness. And I said, okay, this is to finish something like this, we need to have more friendship. Okay, more peace, and to build a friendship with someone, you need to know his language. So I decided to start learning Hebrew.
Wow.
Okay.
So that was the connection to start to learn Hebrew.
Yeah. Then I start to meet with many Jewish people. Many of them non-religious, many of them are religious. And I did this for years because
through online courses or
mainly I did it with Hebrew Online. I did it with Jerusalem Post, conversation. I did it with Israeli Culture Center in Golders Green, Ivory House, before they became JW3.
Yeah.
I did it with JW3 for 2 years as well.
Very nice.
I'm not good in Hebrew because there is no practice and I don't study much, but I paid a lot of money for it. Yeah.
My Arabic is not good too, so I hope your Hebrew is better than my Arabic.
I think so.
Good. Then it's good. Very good.
Yes. in that time, I start to find out that after when I start to do my master's in theology, I start to find that, okay, this is not what I really feel convinced with. Number one, when I did the Hebrew, the modern, New Testament Greek, 90% of the grammar rules are exceptions. Okay, so you can't say what is the reality of anything because everything is exceptional. Okay. Secondly, when I did the Old Testament in the seminary, my doctor who was teaching me, he didn't know a lot of stuff. Okay, so I was going to ask questions and to read more about what he is saying in Jewish references or books, and I found that is not correct.
Okay. False references. Interesting.
Yeah, and I remember he at the end of this modules. Okay, he asked me or asked everyone to write like introduction about one of the books, Seferim of the Tanakh, and yes. my sefer which I did for it was Obadiah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and because Christians, they don't know which one is Obadiah. Okay. So I had to find out, and the conclusion I came with, make me one of the best, papers out of 63 students. And wow. When I studied it again from the Jewish background, I found that the conclusion I came with was wrong. So I said, wow. No, this is not correct. Okay, so I start to read more. I am someone who loved spiritual life, but as well I want to learn correctly. You know what I mean? And this is very important to me. I don't like to take things shallow. Okay, I don't like to take things. Just an idea, and I like to dig and ask and do something like this.
So where was that point where while learning through theology and learning about Christianity, where was that point that you understood that Judaism is the answer? If you had questions, where did you link it to maybe the Judaism is what you're looking for?
This is when I start to find that that what we have in Christianity, okay, especially about who is Jesus or what is all what you call it, the prophecies of Egypt of Jesus in Old Testament. It's all they call it signs. There is no facts. Okay, and I said this is not correct to build all my faith on something I assume to be correct. Okay, not to be something correct.
Interesting.
So. Yeah, so that was a little bit, shaking for me. It shakes my face, and I said, no, this is not correct. Okay, so because I love the Tanakh much. I love it. Okay, so I start as well. When I did 1 year biblical Hebrew, the person who was teaching us, he's an elder man, retired, very, very knowledgeable. He was amazing. He made me feel, to fall in love with, with Tanakh, So, yeah. And he was very good, very nice person. Yeah, so I decided to take a new journey and knock the doors. And your door was maybe number 5 or something like this. But
what happened? Door number 1, 2, 3, 4 wasn't the right. They didn't give you the right answers. Not exactly what you were looking for.
No, they didn't really want to get involved, or maybe I went as well to the liberal synagogues, which I didn't like. Something like this. So. So that was the issue.
And Northwood, how did Northwood come out in the air? Because you knew the place, or
yeah, because I know it. Yes.
Because you knew the place. Understood. So okay. So now, wow, you're here, And what do you say about the process that you're going through, this conversion process? What's the challenges? What do you feel? What's going in, you know, your thoughts and experience?
This is very interesting. It looks like someone, you know, in people who go to prison, they know the days they go in and the days they go out. Okay, people who go into conversion in Judaism, they know the days they go in, but they don't know when's the date. So it is not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy. You have to.
Yeah,
You feel you have to maybe let go of a lot behind you.
I
I'm
think
not. I'm
so.
not
I
talking
mean,
about faith. I'm not talking about the understanding of things, but all the rest of the things.
but I mean, I think that there's many things you can learn more if you are inside the boat, not outside the boat.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So this is very challenging, very challenging. Yeah. So I
Any
want
particular
to listen.
challenge you want to share with us that you feel that has been through these 2 years? That it's been
Uh,
well, now we're on COVID, so it's a
building,
different
no, building
environment.
trust. Building trust with people is a big challenge.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? My
Interesting.
background, many things. Some people are hurted because they used to be Egyptian, maybe. I mean, many things. That, you know, I can say psychological, you know, obstacles and challenges. You know.
I
So for
understand.
me, once I forget, you know, or forgive, I forget. You know what I mean? So
Understood.
yeah, it's a past, it's history. Okay.
I hope you feel trusted within our community, and I'm happy that you trusted me to go through this process. I would ask you maybe to share one more thing. Is okay, you see the conversion as a huge obstacle, but Bezrat Hashem, the moment you will pass that, what will be your dream? What will be your vision? What would you want to make a difference, of course, to yourself and your way of life and to connect to Hashem? What would be something that you can give uniquely to the world if you thought about it?
Oh, I can't talk about that big scale at the moment. Okay, but one of my dreams is to once I became Jew, I want to go to live in Israel. Okay,
Wow.
so this is a dream. This is a
Mhm.
dream. I was planning to go this year, but because of this, you know, health problem happened, it stopped many plans. But
Mhm.
yeah, so I want to go as well to learn. Um, you know, it's yeah,
Wow.
great.
Wow. So just before we close again, I understood you got some information about your family roots that may have come from Jewish roots. Would you like to share a little bit about that?
I have nothing proved yet, but
Mhm.
this is a story I heard recently from one of my relatives, which I didn't talk to for a long time because I became out of faith for them.
So
Uh,
you don't have contact with them at all, or
very, very little,
very
very little.
little.
Yeah, not for that level of talking and sharing
Mhm.
life. You know what I mean? And my grandfather from my mother's side, he came from Armenia, and he's Christian. He became a Muslim, and he fled to Egypt during the massacre which happened against Armenians in Turkey.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was in relationship or in love with a lady. That's what I heard, that she was a Jewish background and she became a Muslim as well. So they can come together, and they got married in Egypt. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
So this is what I heard. Okay, I have no connection. I only remember when I was young, I saw people who came once or twice, were looks foreigners, and my family, my grandmother, she didn't want us to be in the meeting or in this, you know, when they sit together in the salon. Okay, they didn't want us to be, and I realized later they are a kind of relatives, but I don't know anything. I don't know
Okay.
anything. Even we don't have any birth certificate for my grandmother in Egypt because she was even born in Egypt. She born in 1990, sorry, in the year 900, 1900 or 1901, 1902. this is the average, because my grandfather was born in 1898.
Wow, 1898.
Yeah.
So I will leave the continuing of the research to you. And in the meantime, I would like to thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for sharing your story. And I believe there's so many other details I would love to hear. Hopefully soon we'll hear it in more detail. But for now, thank you very much and have a good day. All the
Thank you.
best.
You too. Thank you.